In this video, we're going to look at solving linear equations that contain denominators. And so as you can see from our problem, we have x plus 1 divided by 4 equals 1 over 6 plus 2 minus x all divided by 3. We have three different denominators, a denominator for each term. We have a 4, a 6, and a 3. And so what our strategy is going to be to solve this problem is we want to reduce this problem into a problem that we already know how to solve, reduce it to an easier type of problem. And the way we're going to accomplish this is we're going to get rid of the denominators. To get rid of our denominators, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by the least common multiple of our denominators. So that's the first thing we want to figure out. Now, if you're pretty comfortable with least common multiples, you can do this in your head, do some scratch work on paper, but I'm going to show you a method for figuring out the least common multiple just in case you haven't done it in a while. So we're looking for the LCM, or the least common multiple, of 4, 6, and 3. And so this is our intermediate step. So to figure this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to list off multiples of each of these numbers, starting with 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3, 4 times 4. You can just list 3 or 4 of them, it doesn't matter. Now let's do the 6's. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4. And now let's do the same thing for the 3's, each of our denominators. 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, 3 times 4. Now you may have to do more, you may have to do less, it just depends on the problem you're doing. But what you want to do is you want to look for the first number that's shared by all three of these lists. In this case, it's going to be 12. So the least common multiple of 4, 6, and 3 is going to be 12. So once you figure out what the least common multiple is, you're going to take that and you're going to multiply it by both sides of the equation, which is the same thing as multiplying it by all three terms, or however many terms you have. So we're going to multiply the x plus 1 over 4 by 12. We're going to multiply the 1 over 6 by 12. And we're going to multiply the 2 minus x over 3 by 12. And so now what you can see is once we start canceling things out, you're going to realize that by doing this, we have found a multiple of each of our denominators, and so that multiple in the denominator is going to cancel out, leaving some number potentially left over on top. So to illustrate what's going on, we have a 12 on top and a 4 on bottom. Of course, 12 divided by 4 just leaves you with 3. So all we have left over from the first term is 3 multiplied by x plus 1. In our second term, the first one on the right side of the equal sign, we have a 12 on top and a 6 on bottom. 12 divided by 6 is the same thing as 2. So it equals 2. And that's all that's left over from that term. Then from our final term, we have 2 minus x over 3 multiplied by 12. So a 12 on top and a 3 on bottom. 12 divided by 3 is going to leave us with a 4. And so that 4 will be multiplied by the 2 minus x. And so by multiplying all of the terms by the least common multiple of the denominators, we've now canceled out those denominators. So now we just need to isolate the x's, get all of our variable terms to one side by themselves. And so to accomplish that, first of all, we need to get them out of the parentheses. So we can go and distribute the 3, and we can distribute the 4. 3 times x is going to give us 3x. 3 times positive 1 is going to be plus 3. Oops, my bad. Plus 3 equals, we're just going to bring the 2 down. 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. 4 times negative x is going to give us negative 4x. So now this is a problem that we know how to solve. Let's go ahead and add 4x to both sides in an effort to consolidate the terms with variables. So 3x plus 4x is going to give us 7x plus 3. We can also combine the like terms, the 2 and the 8. 2 plus 8 is just going to give us 10. So now let's subtract 3 from both sides. So we just have 7x left over on the left-hand side, and that's going to be equal to 7. Now to get the x completely by itself, let's divide both sides by 7. And of course the 7's are going to cancel on the left-hand side, leaving us with x. And 7 divided by 7 on the right-hand side leaves us with a 1. So our final answer is x equals 1. Again, this is an equation. You can always go back and plug the 1 in the place of x and make sure it works out. You can plug into your calculator, whatever you wanted to do. But there you go. So just to review, if you have denominators, you want to cancel out those denominators by finding the least common multiple of the denominators. When you do that, it reduces the problem down to something that we already know how to solve, a simple linear equation without any denominators.